everybody, welcome back. This is Jesse, also known as Daddy, and I'm joined with my little 6-year-old son.
Henry Sandoval-Wisniewski.
Very well. And as you can notice, Henry is missing his 2 front teeth. Oh no! What happened? They disappeared the last week. And today we are going to be giving you our World Cup predictions. We're going to go through all the groups, all the different stages, including the final. And Henry and I are going to be predicting for you who we believe is going to win the next World Cup. Is that right, Henry?
Yes.
Okay, good. Shall we get started?
Yes.
And a little surprise for you, when we're talking about different teams that we like, we have different jerseys that we're going to be putting on. Is that right, Henry?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to go through it. And we have here the ball from the Mexican national team. And which one is that?
No.
All right, well, we can switch. Okay, now, starting off with Group A, Henry and I are going to be making our predictions using the World Cup predictor wall chart from the Telegraph newspaper. Okay, starting off with Group A, we have Netherlands, Ecuador. Hold on, let me just say the teams. Netherlands, Ecuador, Senegal, and Qatar. So, Henry, who do you think... This is a very interesting group. I'll just say a couple of things. Ecuador came in 4th place in the Copa America. I think this is probably their best team that they've put together in the last 15 years. One of their highlight players is Estupinan. Let's see, Senegal came in first in the Africa Confederation. They've got players like Mendy, Koulibaly. Qatar came in, I think, 3rd place in the Middle East Cup. It's their first time in the World Cup as the host. A lot of question marks around Qatar, but certainly they've got a good coach and they have a lot of resources. And obviously the Netherlands, you know, they've made it to the final twice. Some of their key players include Van Dijk and Danjuma. Their coach is probably one of the better coaches. Van Gaal is returning again. I mean, this is really a great squad. So what do you think, Henry? Who do you think is going to come in Group A?
In Group A, Ecuador.
Ecuador will be first? Yeah? Okay, and who's going to come in second?
Netherlands.
Netherlands second. 3rd place?
3rd place, Qatar.
3rd place, Qatar, and 4th place, Senegal. Very interesting selection. I think Henry is really seeing the Ecuador team as the best one of the best ones in South America, and certainly comparable to how Colombia played in the last World Cup. Is that right, Henry? Okay, and Dad is I'm predicting that, let's see here. I'm also predicting Ecuador is going to advance. I'm going to put them in 2nd place. And Netherlands, I am estimating Qatar will come in. Let's see here. So I'm going to put actually Netherlands first, Ecuador 2nd, Senegal 3rd, Qatar 4th. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to Group B, we have Wales, England, Iran, USA. My God, this is quite a group here. England, it's their golden generation. It's the team that went to the finals last year in the Euro Cup. It's the team that also made it to the semifinals 4 years ago in the last World Cup. This is really the best team that the English have put together. Wales, a little bit questionable. I think they're past their prime. Christian Bale's on there, obviously, but I just don't see them being such a great squad. USA is really looking good 4 years from now when USA, Canada, and Mexico are co-hosting the World Cup. But they do have a very young team. Some of the folks on the team include Reina, who I think is very strong, and Cocaina. And then lastly on the team we have Iran. So I think Iran's got Mehdi, Taremi, and Azmoun, who both play for Porto. So who do you think, Henry? Who's going to win this group?
First, Iran.
First, Iran? First place, Iran? Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Better than England? Okay. All right. First,
USA 3rd.
USA in 3rd place, and England?
England good.
England is good in second, and that puts Wales in fourth. All right. So Henry is making a very, very, risky prediction here. He's putting Iran in first place, England in second, with U.S. and Wales not advancing. On the other hand, I'm definitely putting England in first place. I think, again, England's got the resources to make this one of their best teams. This is really the golden generation. Football is coming home once again for England. So I do think that they have the ability to make it all the way to the semifinals. I also don't think that Iran has what it takes to advance. I think that with everything that's going on back home and the kind of pressure that the team is facing, they're probably not going to advance. And I'm putting USA in second place and Wales in fourth. So we both agree about Wales in fourth. Okay, very well. Very well. Moving on to, and by the way, I'm wearing the USA jersey, in case you didn't notice. Henry's wearing Denmark. Okay, and we might be changing jerseys a little bit later. Group C, we have Argentina. Hold on, let me explain a little bit first.
Good.
Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia. So,
This
Argentina.
is good for me.
This is good for you. All right, well, let me just explain a little bit. So, Argentina, we've got Martinez, Campos, Messi, fantastic players all around. The new coach is Scaloni. I think is a really high-quality coach, certainly much better than Sampaoli, who I thought was a very dramatic coach. And, of course, we've got Messi. And the question is, do we think they've got what it takes to make it all the way to the finals? Certainly, this Argentina team is considered to be the highest rated, and most fans on the Telegraph chart have predicted Argentina to be winning the World Cup. I think it was 23% of participants have predicted. On Saudi Arabia, I mean, they probably have no chance of advancing. They really play a club-style football. The team's worth around 30 million in value. The coach is good, Harvey Reynolds, but I just don't see them advancing here. Mexico, some question marks about the coach. He's from Argentina. This is certainly helpful when we're thinking about the game against Argentina. And certainly some of the best players include Jimenez and Lozano. And then Poland, they've also got a new coach. This guy seems to be very wily, and they have a pretty strong squad, obviously with Lewandowski in the front, Milik and Zelensky. But they did underperform the last two World Cups, so it's unlikely that they're going to significantly improve, considering that this is now 8 years since we last saw Lewandowski. So, what do you think, Henry? Who's coming in first? Argentina, you said?
Yeah, but this is good.
Okay, so Henry's predicting Argentina first, Mexico second, Poland third, and Saudi Arabia fourth place. And Dad is predicting, let's see here, Dad is predicting, I think the same. I'm also predicting Argentina first. I do think that Mexico, despite all the question marks around the team makeup and the coach, I think will magically be able to pull off a miracle and tie or beat Poland in that game. And I think it all comes for Poland and Mexico. It all comes down to that one game, their first match together.
Mexico gonna beat Poland?
Yes, I'm also expecting that Mexico will either tie or beat Poland. Okay, perfect. High five. Excellent. We've got the Mexico ball here. Great. All right. Group D, we've got Denmark, Australia, France, and Tunisia. Henry, you've also got your jersey from France here. Look at that.
When?
This is Group D. So we've got Denmark, Australia, France, and Tunisia. Who do you think, Henry?
Can I change?
You can change. I'll say a couple of things. So France, clearly in Group D, 2 times World Cup winners. The squad is just incredible. They've got Pogba, Benzema, Mbappe, Deschamps returning as the manager. I think he's very talented, and he knows how to leverage all the resources that the French national team have there, all the money, the talent, and the training resources, similar to what Germany feels for their squad. So I do think France, it's theirs to lose here. Denmark, again, this is Denmark's golden generation. Eriksen, Mela, Damsgaard, highly disciplined. I think any day of the week they could probably tie or beat France, and certainly they can beat teams like Switzerland. Tunisia, they've got a lot of fans, great fan base. They've got Sakiri and Kazri, but they're not very talented at scoring. They've got strong defense, but I don't think they've got what it takes to advance. And lastly, we've got Australia, strong athletic team, very professional, but I don't think this is the best squad. I think they're less talented than they were 2 World Cups ago. So, Henry, what do you think?
What?
Australia, Denmark, Tunisia, France. Who's going to come in first?
First, last Australia.
Last place, Australia. Okay.
France first.
France in first place.
And that's good.
And that's good. Denmark in second, Tunisia third. And I think this is a really good prediction, Henry. I think this is probably going to be it. I'm also predicting something similar, but I have an upset. I'm saying that Denmark will come in first, France will come in second, Australia third, Tunisia last place. And the reason why France is coming in second, because I think they just have too much star power. We already saw France lose to Switzerland in the Euro Cups last year. I just don't think they have the team effort. Really,
But they have good
they have
players.
amazing players. They do have amazing players.
But France have good players.
I know they have good players, but I just don't see them coming in first. I think this is going to be an upset. And in fact, if we look back historically, the curse of the World Cup would tell us that the French, having won the last World Cup, will not advance in this World Cup. I do think that this squad has learned from their mistakes. They will advance, but I do not think that they will come in first in their group.
So my goodness.
All right, fine. So, Henry, now we have Group E. Group E has Germany, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica. Could be the group of death. All very strong teams. I'll say a couple of things. Say a couple of things
But
first.
Spain first and then
Okay,
all.
so
Spain first.
Henry is putting Spain first.
And that's all.
And that's all. And what about Germany? Second? Second. Japan third? Japan third, and Costa Rica last place. All right. Here, I'm going to say something a little different. First of all, this is not Spain's golden generation from 12 years ago, or rather 14 years ago. And I do think that these golden generations, regardless of the country, go in like about 10 to 15-year cycles. So I think this is not the team that will advance Spain into the semifinals. Nonetheless, they do have great players like Busquets. They did very well by getting to the semifinals in the last Euro Cup. And they have Gabi, they have Petri, and they only lost to Italy, the winners of the last Euro Cup. Germany, this is a new generation. They have learned from their mistakes 4 years ago. David Raum, Beckerson, and of course Florian, who is 19 years old. Florian Wirtz, who's 19 years old. And I think the ideal product of the Mannschaft, training kids as young as 9 years old, putting them through a very disciplined system that produces world-class players at the end of it. And then lastly, we have Japan. Second to last, we have Japan. 5 players in the Japanese team play in the Bundesliga. This is, I think, the best Asian team all around. And then in the group, to round off the group, we have Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica is looking strong in 2026. I don't think they've got what it takes to advance. And they came in not so strong in the CONCACAF. So I'm putting in, one second here, I'm putting in Germany first, Spain second, Japan third, and Costa Rica fourth. And in fact, Japan, I think, is going to have a good shot at advancing, depending on how they play against Germany. All right.
Just one thing upside down.
Yeah, just one thing different. Okay, Group F. Group F, we've...
I think Spain is
Oh, and by the way, you had your Spain jersey. We forgot to put it on.
Yeah.
All right, so Spain. Well, Henry's putting on his Spain jersey, and I completely forgot to put on my Spain jersey. All right, so Group F, we are talking about Croatia, Morocco, Canada, and Belgium. And Henry, if that one doesn't fit you, you can go ahead and just put on Belgium. So we've got Croatia, Morocco, Canada, Belgium. All right, well, what can I say about Group F? This is also a very unpredictable group, and I'll say the following. First of all, Belgium, it's their golden generation that has been in decline. Well, look at that, we finally have Spain. It's their golden generation that has been in decline now for some years. I think they did manage to beat Portugal in the last Euro Cup, but I think that's it. I don't think that this team has what it takes to advance in this group. And in fact, I think this is going to be one of the big upsets. Most of these players are they're in their late 30s, some of them approaching 40. And let's see, on Canada, very strong team. This Canada has been really out of the World Cups for almost 30 years. Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, new generation. And I think they're learning from the French model, which is working with really young players and molding them into a fantastic team. I think Canada's going to look really great in the next World Cup, but I don't see them advancing in this one. If they do advance, it'll be in second place. On Morocco, I think this is one of the better African teams. They've got Hakimi, many Spanish players. I think 3 of them already play for Sevilla. And they did play pretty well against Spain 4 years ago in the World Cup. Lastly, we've got Croatia. I think Croatia's coming in this with a kind of a big head and big expectations from the last World Cup. Now, they do have players like Sosa. Modric is there again. They've built their defense, which was the weakest part of their last performance. But yet, I think... and they are a team that has historically come from behind, having always, let in a goal and still managed to advance. So, Henry, what do you think in Group F? Who do we have? We have Canada, Croatia, Morocco, Belgium. Who do you think is going to be advancing? You think Croatia first place? Let's see, let's put on your Belgium jersey.
No. First we need to...
No, you can put it on top of
No.
it. Okay, fine. So we have Henry. Come back before you change again. Who do you have? Come back before you change again. Who do you have? You have Croatia first, and then who comes in second? Canada, third place.
Morocco.
And fourth place?
Belgium.
Wow, look at that. And I've got, on my end, I've got something similar. I've got Croatia, first place. Let's see here. Morocco second, Canada third, and Belgium fourth. So we both agree that Belgium is not going to advance. Unbelievable, given the quality of the team. Here, let's put this on. In memoriam of the Belgian team. Okay, and moving on, we've got Group G. Group G, yeah. And since Group G has got Brazil, I'm going to go ahead and put on my Brazil jersey.
No, I know.
Number 10 for Neymar. All right.
And I too have Neymar.
All right, perfect. Okay. So, in Group G, we have got Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, Cameroon. Wow, Brazil, 5-time pentacampeón, 5-time World Cup winner. They've got Neymar Jr., Coutinho, Casemiro, Refilho, Danilo, Rufinho, Carlsen, Antony. The whole squad is amazing in and of itself, but can the manager keep control of this squad? That's the real question mark for me. I don't think that Bachi has what it takes to get this team to a World Cup victory. Here, and then on Switzerland, we've got a proven team that has a history of roughly 6 years.
Mine is good.
All right. We've got a proven team in Switzerland, 6 years playing together. They've got Shaqiri, Zaka. They beat France in the Euro Cup. So I think this does look like a team that could advance. Next, we have Serbia, Zavic, Mitrovic, Jovic, Grojic. All good players. I just don't think they've got what it takes to advance against against Brazil and Switzerland. And lastly, we've got Cameroon. Unfortunately, I think the weakest team in Africa, third in the Africa Cup. The coach, one of their players, Andre Anguissa, plays for Napoli. Wonderful player, but I just don't see them advancing. So, Henry, who do you have coming in Group G?
I have already made.
You already made your decision? Brazil first, Serbia second, Switzerland third, and Cameroon fourth. Very well. And I've got Brazil first, Switzerland second, Serbia third, and Cameroon fourth. So, one difference, right? So I've got Switzerland advancing and Henry's at Serbia advancing. All right. And coming down to the last group, we've got Group H. Group H has Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana, and South Korea. Portugal. let's see here. My last jersey of the afternoon.
USA and Argentina.
All right. All right. So now we're putting on Portugal. All right. So, in Portugal, let's see here. I mean, look, this is a great team. Bruno Felix, Jota, Ronaldo, Cancelo. Ghana is also fielding a strong team. Ayaz, Jordi, and they're certainly looking for revenge against Uruguay for their loss in 2010 in the quarterfinals. And then next in Uruguay, we have the usual squad. Cavani and Suarez, that combination is lethal. But more importantly, they have Darwin Nunez, which I think on the midfield is going to make all the difference. And they've also changed coach. They've dropped Tavares and they've gotten Diego Alonso, who I think brings a lot less of that bad energy to the mix. Uruguay did knock out Portugal in the World Cup in 2018. And then lastly, we've got South Korea. I think one of the weaker South Korean teams in some time. Henry, who do you think is going to advance in Group H? Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana.
Good.
That's good for you? So you think Portugal in first place, Uruguay second, Ghana third, and South Korea fourth? Okay, and Dad has got Uruguay first, Portugal second, Ghana third, South Korea fourth. All right. All right. So these are our picks. Now we're moving on to the round of 16. This is where it gets interesting. Henry, we've got Ecuador.
This all first to me.
Okay, go ahead. So go ahead and sit down. Sit down. So we've got Ecuador and England. Who's going to win, Henry?
Ecuador and England.
Ecuador and England. Who's going to win?
England.
England. Very good. Yeah, for sure. England's going to win. And I say the same thing. Sorry, my selection is a little bit different. We'll continue with Henry's. Match 50, Argentina versus Denmark.
Argentina.
Very good. Match 51, Iran versus Netherlands.
Iran.
Iran is going to beat the Netherlands? My goodness. Match 52, France versus Mexico.
France.
France. Match 53, Spain versus Canada.
Spain.
Spain. Match 54, Brazil versus Uruguay.
Brazil.
Brazil. Match 55, Croatia versus Germany.
Germany.
Germany. Match 56, Portugal versus Serbia.
Portugal.
Portugal. Okay, now Dad goes on to his round of 16. I've got Netherlands versus USA, match 49. I'm going to go with Netherlands, definitely. Match 50, Argentina versus France. I'm going to go with Argentina this time. I think Argentina has the right coach. They've got the discipline to make it happen, and I think that they will shock the World Cup winners out of the round 16. Match 51, England versus Ecuador. That's a no-brainer for me. England definitely coming in on top. Match 52, Denmark versus Mexico. Unfortunately, the Mexican team doesn't have the discipline that the Danes have. And I think the Danes have been playing together really strongly for the last 4 or 5 years. They're going to win it. Match 54, Germany versus Morocco. I've got Germany winning on that one. That's an easy one for Germany. 54, Brazil versus Portugal. I've also got Brazil winning. 55, Croatia versus Spain. I've got Spain advancing over Croatia this time around. Match 56, Uruguay versus Switzerland, and I definitely have Uruguay winning. All right, let's go on to our quarterfinals here, Henry. Quarterfinals, we have England versus Argentina. Oh my God. Argentina beating England. What a match. Kicking England out. Football is no longer coming home for England in Henry's quarterfinals. Spain versus Brazil. Brazil. France versus Iran. France it is. And match 60, Germany versus Portugal. Portugal. So we have 2 South American teams and 2 European teams. Argentina, Brazil, France, Portugal going into the semifinals. Now for Dad, I have got here in the quarterfinals, Netherlands versus Argentina. I think the Argies are going to pull it off. I think they're going to pull off a miracle. They're going to beat the Dutch. They're going to get their revenge from the 1998 World Cup. Germany versus Brazil. I've also got Brazil beating Germany easy. That's their revenge for the 2014 World Cup. England versus Denmark. I think England's got that one in the bag. A younger team, more fit, more experienced. They did make it to the Euro Cup final last year. Spain versus Uruguay. I also have Uruguay advancing. This is Cavani and Suarez pulling off a miracle, upsetting the Spaniards. So I also have a lot of South American teams: Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, and England. This is going to be a disaster for England. All right, back to the semifinals. We have here for Henry, Argentina versus Brazil.
Argentina versus Brazil.
Brazil beating Argentina. Okay, their revenge for the...
Portugal.
And France versus Portugal. Henry has Portugal advancing, so it is Brazil. It is a Portuguese-speaking final, Brazil versus Portugal. And for Dad, let's see here. Let's go back to our screen. For Dad, I have Argentina versus Brazil. I'm putting Argentina beating. And England versus Uruguay. I think England's going to beat Uruguay. So that's going into a final, match 64 final of Argentina versus England, while Henry has Brazil versus Portugal. Brazil versus Portugal, and he is wearing a Portugal jersey. Who's going to win this, Henry?
Portugal.
Portugal is going to win the World Cup. First time in their history. All right. Portugal is going to win their World Cup. 8% of players, according to the Telegraph, have said Portugal is going to win the World Cup. Look at you wearing your Portugal jersey. And I, on the other hand, have Argentina and England. And this time around, let me see here. This is going to be a tough one. But I'm going to go with, surprise, surprise. Let's see who it's going to be. I'm going to go with Argentina. Yeah. So I've got Argentina winning the World Cup, and 26% of players also believe that Messi will carry his team to the World Cup victory.
Look.
Yeah, and yeah, 26% of players predict.
Why does Argentina and Brazil?
Well, 26% of players predicted Argentina to win, whereas 23% predicted Brazil, and 8% predicted England. You've got 8% of players that predicted Portugal winning, also predicted England. So pretty even. All right. So these are our predictions. Yeah? You happy with them?
Yes.
All right. Very well.
When is goal?
When is goal? You want to give your best goal? Can you say goal?
Yeah.
One more time. Goal! Goal! Lasso! Goal! Henry and Daddy! Okay, folks. That's it for us. That's it from us, coming to you live from Europe. And we see you at the World Cup. Bye-bye.
What?
Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.